Good morning. I'm here with my colleague Andrew Scheer as the Government Operations Committee is set to meet this afternoon, where Common Sense Conservatives will put forward a motion summoning the principals of GC Strategies to appear before the Government Operations Committee. Now, GC Strategies, of course, is the two-person firm who worked on Justin Trudeau's $60 million ArriveCan scandal. But this app had this $20 million contract where this company did no actual IT work, and they have now twice refused to appear, having been summoned by committee. And the effect of today's motion will be to use the full power of the House of Commons to have these individuals appear before committee. It's incredibly important when we have this report from the Auditor General that revealed that this $60 million scandal with this app that wrongly imprisoned 10,000 Canadians, wrongly quarantined them, didn't have proper management oversight and no cost controls, and of course revealed that the app cost many millions more than the government had first disclosed. So today's motion is critical, and it's going to be a real test of the NDP Liberal coalition, because we're going to find out if the NDP are prepared to provide the accountability and answers that Canadians deserve in Justin Trudeau's latest scandal. And this is the minimum that they can do. We understand that they've been in the practice of helping Justin Trudeau cover up his scandals, but in this case, Canadians deserve answers and accountability, and that's what our motion is calling for today.
Alors, les conservateurs de Gros Bon Sens annoncent que cet après-midi, nous allons proposer introduire une motion au comité pour insister que les propriétaires de GC Strategies se présentent pour témoigner. Ça, c'est un scandale qui a impacté les Canadiens, qui était tellement coûteuse, qui a coûté 750 fois le total original. Nous avons appris beaucoup d'informations selon le rapport de la vérificatrice générale. Elle a dit qu'il y a une approche avec aucune compétition, avec un manque de responsabilité, et beaucoup de décisions étaient prises par les officiels sans supervision du gouvernement. C'est essentiel que ces deux propriétaires de cette compagnie se présentent. Ils ont ignoré deux autres demandes, et ça, c'est inacceptable. Les Canadiens ont le droit d'apprendre qu'est-ce qui a passé avec leur argent. Les comités ont le pouvoir pareil, semblable que les pouvoirs pour les tribunaux. Et notre motion va avoir un aspect qui va utiliser ce pouvoir pour assurer que ces individus se présentent. Ça va être un test pour la coalition de camouflage NPD libéral. Il y a beaucoup des enquêtes au comité, il y a beaucoup des investigations où le partenaire des NPD et libéraux ont bloqué les efforts des conservateurs de l'opposition officielle d'apprendre la vérité, d'apprendre qu'est-ce qui a passé avec l'argent des contribuables. Nous espérons que cet camouflage va arrêter aujourd'hui, mais si les NPD et les libéraux votent pour bloquer nos efforts, c'est un signe tellement clair que tous les beaux mots de Justin Trudeau qu'il veut avoir la vérité ici sont fausses. Alors, on va voir cet après-midi, l'NPD libéral va avoir un choix et une opportunité de demander la vérité pour les Canadiens. Et nous sommes prêts à répondre à vos questions.
J'aimerais vous entendre sur cette notion de contraindre à témoigner en demandant aux sergents d'armes Donc, en quelque sorte, là, de les forcer à le faire. Pourquoi utiliser cette mesure-là et est-ce que véritablement c'est la voie pour y arriver?
Nous allons utiliser cet outil parce que les propriétaires de cette compagnie ont refusé les demandes originales. Alors, le cours de Parlement ont les mêmes pouvoirs que les tribunaux. Nous sommes les députés qui ont l'obligation, ce n'est pas seulement le droit, c'est une obligation de trouver la vérité, de montrer aux Canadiens qu'est-ce qui a passé avec leur argent. Et à cause de le fait que ces individus ont ignoré les deux demandes originales, c'est à notre part maintenant d'élever les mesures qu'on peut utiliser.
This seems like a pretty extraordinary measure. I'm just wondering if you can talk about, as a former speaker, how rare is it that you would see the sergeant-at-arms hauling somebody before a committee?
Well, it is very rare, and it's unfortunate that it's come to this point. But it's essential that we use this tool if these individuals continue to ignore. So we're going to summon them again. And this time, though, there will be the understanding that if they ignore this summons, that there will be consequences. There is a recent precedent. Speaker Milliken did issue a subpoena to compel testimony from a witness, and law enforcement agencies cooperated with that. Yes, it's rare, but we're talking about at least $60 million of taxpayers' money that the government used the pandemic as an excuse to ignore the rules. We just heard from committee today that decisions were made to relax rules and to relax requirements for things like testing, updates to the app, to forego the usual bidding process. We have to make sure that Canadians understand what happened during the pandemic, not just with their money, but with their lives as well, with many of them being forced to quarantine for no reason. We heard today that at least 10,000 people were wrongly given quarantine orders because of a glitch in the app. I mean, we're talking about 10,000 people who had to quarantine at their own expense, many of whom would have missed shifts at work or missed important life events, and that's unacceptable. So the fact that these two individuals have already ignored previous requests is not just unfortunate, but it's a sign of grave disrespect to Canadian taxpayers. And now it's up to the Liberals and NDP to vote with us to ensure that Canadians find the truth.
With the rarity of this, can you just walk us through the process of what would happen if the Sergeant-at-Arms was sent out to go execute this warrant?
Well, we're going to take this one step at a time. Today, the message today is calling on the NDP and the Liberals to vote in favor of our motion to demand that these individuals come with the appropriate remedy if they don't. There will be options available to the Speaker and to the Sergeant-at-Arms, but in the past there has been cooperation between the House of Commons and law enforcement agencies to ensure that Parliament's orders are respected.
Est-ce que ces stratégies ont ignoré ou refusé de se présenter? Puis si ont refusé, est-ce qu'ils vous ont donné une raison pour laquelle?
Est-ce qu'il y a une différence? Nous avons demandé qu'ils se présentent pour témoigner, ils n'ont pas le fait. Alors, nous avons l'obligation d'utiliser cette approche cet après-midi.
Apparently said that they're facing harassment, threats, that kind of stuff. Do you see that as a valid reason for not showing up at a committee?
When you take contracts from the Government of Canada, when you take taxpayers' money, you have to be accountable for that. If there are questions that members of Parliament have on behalf of Canadian taxpayers, and absolutely there's an obligation to answer for that.
Last question. Do you have any?
What would decide if the NDP decided to vote against your motion today?
We have seen the NDP at multiple occasions defend and protect Justin Trudeau, not just for policy outcomes, not just because it's part of some kind of a deal on policy outcomes or an NDP wish list, but to protect Justin Trudeau from being personally embarrassed by scandal and corruption. If the NDP vote against our motion this afternoon, it is crystal clear now that they're not actually interested in cleaning up Justin Trudeau's corruption and scandals, that they're not actually interested in a different approach, that they are interested in keeping Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister for as long as possible.
Do you have any evidence, though, of a link between this company and the Liberals?